Hi, and welcome to this quick YouTube video where I will review the new Deadpool 3 teaser and some of the animation on Colossus. Thanks for watching. So let's take a look at this animation. This is the first shot of the new Deadpool teaser, and we have Colossus doing some burpees, and I'll just let this play back a couple more times and see if you can catch anything that you would improve on in this animation. Is there anything that stands out? And I'll start to give you a hint. Start to look at the screen forward, the closest arm to the screen. So his right arm, as it hits the ground. Do you see anything that you would change? So let's jump in and I will give you my answer to that. And let me preface this with, I respect everyone's work. I don't mean to, belittle the work that's already been done. This shot is fine. It's, it's doing what it's supposed to do. These things I'm talking about are just kind of the little tweaks and little polish I would do if I had an extra, afternoon or something to mess with the shot that I might do. Who knows under the conditions under which this was animated and worked on. Maybe they were meeting a deadline and couldn't do what I'm about to describe. Who knows? And I don't mean it in any way to as an insult to the work that's already been done on it. This is just my opinion about what I think could be improved. So let's jump right in. So what I see, I don't know if you've seen this yet, is when the arm comes down, let's play a little forward. Everything is pretty much fine. It's just when the arm comes down, look what's happening on this hand. It's coming down at a certain spacing, and then it just hits this wall right here, and it goes very slow down. Compare that with the other arm. The other arm is coming down at a certain spacing, and it maintains that spacing until it's completely flat on the ground. Whereas this hand, the fingertip barely touches the ground, and then it really slows down. So just to see that a little more visually, let's sketch this out. We have a spacing. Let's just watch the wrist. Like this, and I'll turn on ghosting so we can see this. We're spacing something like this, and now you can see it really start to slow down over these frames. I screen captured this, so I think we're doubling up on this frame right here, just because of the screen capture software can't do real time. So and then it goes even softer. There's another one here. So if we look at this spacing, we've basically established this kind of a spacing for us to bring our arm down, and it should maintain that spacing until it hits the ground. But as we get closer to the ground, the hand slows down. And just for body mechanics, physicality standpoint, that doesn't make a ton of sense to me, and this hand does. We have this spacing, and it's maintaining that at every frame, and it's on the ground. But in the time that this hand is already on the ground, this one is still starting to just slow down a little bit. And that would only make sense to me if the shoulders were positioned more in a twist. Right now they're fairly flat, and by twist I mean, let's say this shoulder was still up here and this one was down there, so that this shoulder would be hitting the ground sooner, meaning this hand should hit the ground sooner and faster, but that's not the case. The shoulders are very flat, straight across, so everything should be kind of happening within a frame of each other, and there shouldn't be this, let's see, 1 2 3 4 5 frame delay between the hand taking the weight. Another thing to consider here is right now there's nothing taking the weight of the body. It's in midair. So there's really, it'd be very, 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 very difficult to slow your arm down in this case. You're really catching yourself here. So your hand would be coming down at this even rate that we're seeing on this arm. It should also be mimicked on this arm. So that would get rid of the kind of softness I see here, and it makes it feel like he's very light. He is a strong guy, but this just catches my eye and doesn't make as much sense for me on the physicality. The other thing I notice in this process is when he's moving his butt back, I should say, it kind of hits a wall here. So we have his butt hits a wall and it stays between these two frames. It stays there. And then in one frame, it starts to come down. What I would do on this frame, see how everything is just the COG is just staying right here and it's just pivoting. I would probably move this up just a touch so that it would kind of have more of a loop motion like this, as opposed to right now it's kind of, it hits and then it just, everything rotates down. Whereas what I would do is maybe do something like that. Have that kind of a path of motion. And so we can see this, I think they might have looped the animation because we can see it in this one too. You can see how it's soft there. So it goes soft. And then the other thing that caught my eye with this was on the way back up. There's a little hitch right there. And there's a hitch right there. And there's a hitch right there. And what I'm looking at is that arm again. It's this elbow. So if we watch this elbow, it hits a wall right here. This forearm stops moving. And it stays there over these two frames, and it actually comes back a little bit. So there's a bit of a jitter there. So if you think about the spacing of this too, so we have this spacing, that spacing, it slows down over one frame there, and then it hits a wall and actually comes back. So there's a bit of a jitter there, goes up, and then it continues through. Whereas for me, you know, this is Colossus. I don't think he has any problems doing push-ups. His arm, I don't really see a reason why his arm should get stuck in a bent pose. When he's trying to push himself off the ground, his arm should go completely straight here. And this motion could be smoothed out. I think they're doing it to give it time to rotate his torso down. I think that could be done in a different arm pose, that it doesn't need to be bent and then get locked off in a bent pose, which again, it's much harder to hold your body weight with bent arms than straight arms. And the whole idea about a push-up is doing straight arms. I'm wondering if maybe they were looking at reference and they were copying some reference or something that wanted them to do that kind of a thing. But so those are the two main things that caught my eye. Otherwise, like I said, this is a fine shot and everything's working. I might break up the feet a little bit. They kind of do the same thing. Maybe bring one in. Point one toe down before the other. Just they're doing it a little bit. But these kind of twin, the toes rotating down, twin a little bit. But for the most part, everything's fine. And it was mainly those arm poses and the hand there slowing down. It just felt very soft. And so just the other thing that I'm noticing real quickly is the head hitting a wall right here. So that's just the other thing. I don't think any one of these things by themselves would stand out, but it's that they're all happening. And so watching it play back, it feels like there's these stutter moments, and this elbow and the hand coming down, and then the chin. If we watch the chin here, it kind of hits a wall there, right here, and his head doesn't rotate. If we look at his head, it rotates a little bit here, and then it kind of just lifts straight up, whereas I would have a little bit of overlapping action and have just a little bit of the neck of the head rotating down, because to me also this head, everything feels like it's rotating from back here, whereas head should be rotating from here-ish. And so what I'm looking at is this straight line, and you kind of have this straight line and it hits and then it just lifts straight up. Whereas, you would want to break this up and have you know, the head rotate down a little bit, and come this way, even if it's just for like one frame. So again, I don't think any one of these things by themselves is that big a deal, but that there's a couple of things right next to each other, it kind of caught my eye. And so it'd be that kind of stiffness in the head as he's coming back up, the bump. There's a little bit of rotation. You know, they did it here, right there. The head rotates down just a touch right here, but they just need to carry that through here because it felt a little sharp. Boom. Let me. Yeah, and I think there's probably some more tweaking that could be done on if we were looking at like the center of the shoulders coming back. You know, it feels like it hits a wall right here. See how if we look at this corner of this negative, of this where the shirt meets, it's coming back this way, and then it kind of hits a wall and goes straight up right there. So there's just little stuff like that I would go through and double check the arcs. The other thing with the visual effects is you do want a little bit of noise in it to make it look more real. So you don't want to like over smooth everything, but some of this, it's just like very small changes that I think would go a long way. But overall, you know, it's working well. So I hope that makes sense. And if you want to learn more about animation, you can check out digitalcreatorschool.com, where I have a bunch of courses. I teach how to use the software that they most likely animated this in, which it would be Autodesk Maya. I have a 25-hour long class course that is very, very comprehensive. I also have shorter courses, and you can jump around and just go to the animation section. If you enroll as a student at Digital Creator School, you have access to all 60 plus hours of very professional training that I show you how to use these tools and get a job in the industry. And to that point, if you don't know where to start and you don't really know about the industry, I made a class just for you. It's called Break into the Animation Industry. And in that class, I break down the things you need to learn, the jobs that are available. I talk very frankly about the industry as a whole, and I interview 7 other artists from different backgrounds, different departments, who also give their opinions and their personal experience and background getting into the industry. So you have a wide variety of experience to learn from in that class. And it's my newest class, and people are responding well to it, and they are enjoying the very frank and heavy dose of reality that I give in that class about what it's really like to get into the industry and what it takes. So thanks for watching, and hopefully you'll subscribe to this YouTube channel and encourage me to do more stuff like this and share maybe some snippets from classes, and I'll maybe do some more short form tutorials in the future. In the meantime, please subscribe, like, share, blah, 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 all that stuff. But yeah, if you want to learn more and get serious about this, check out digitalcreatorschool.com. I'll see you there in class. Thanks for watching.